Bombi Life, what's going on, guys? I appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much. This video is in reference to a video I made saying that the semen retention is the tree of life. And people been asking me, what does it feel like to raise your frequency through semen retention? And what's it like? A lot of people think it's like Vegeta and Goku, like where you're like, you know what I mean? Which I'm not saying it can't feel like that. It could. But you notice when guys practice semen retention, many people say, oh, after a while it stops working. You only feel it the first month. You feel your testosterone a little bit higher and you feel good the first month, but then you don't feel anything. And this is the reason. The reason you don't feel anything, and this is why people decide that after a month or two, they feel like masturbating or ejaculating or having sex, because they stop feeling anything. Because it's like this. I'm gonna give you the perfect example. It's like, imagine being a 5-year-old kid, right? And you believe in Santa Claus. A 4-year-old kid, let's say, and you believe in Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is so real to you. And imagine that same 4-year-old kid going from a 4-year-old mentality within 3 months to a 30-year-old's mentality when it comes to Santa Claus. It's like, boom, from 4-year-old to 30. Now, all of a sudden, nobody told him Santa Claus is fake. Nobody told him that it's a made-up story. But all of a sudden, he can't explain it, but it becomes so obvious to him. Like, it's obvious to him this guy is a man in a costume. And he's like, every other little kid is, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. But he's looking around like I just went from believing into something, and then all of a sudden, like, it just becomes clear that he's a man in a costume. Nobody had to tell him anything. He can't explain it. See, he starts thinking, the little kid, that, he just figured it out because he's that smart. But he doesn't put it together that it was because there's something different within him. Now, going to you, that's what's going to happen to you through semen retention. You're going to go through a phase where you're like, nothing's happening to me. I don't feel any changes or any difference. But then you'll see stuff on TV where like a sports game could be rigged, or political figures doing sneaky stuff behind everybody's back, but they believe it's really a show, or really real events that are occurring, everybody else. But you can tell that, hey, wait a minute, this looks like a setup. Like, to you, it's just that obvious. But you can't tell that it's because of the semen retention. You can't tell that there's a certain power in you where you can't be fooled. You can't tell that you just think, I don't feel any strength. I don't feel anything. Somebody says a lie, everybody falls for that lie. But you're like, you don't think it's the semen retention. That's you start thinking, that's not semen retention. I just can tell he's lying. Or it's not the semen retention that made me realize that sports game was rigged. I just know it. You just assume because it's your ego, you know what I mean? But you don't know that you're already thinking different. You made it to a new level. You understand what I'm saying? You don't feel the testosterone. You don't feel the, Goku or Vegeta. For those of you who don't know who Goku and Vegeta, it's a Dragon Ball Z reference, anime, a cartoon. But anyways, you can't tell that you've elevated. It's just naturally, you just naturally do. It's like going from a 22-year-old to a 23-year-old. The next day when you're 23 and it's your birthday, you don't realize, oh my God, my body feels different. I'm 23 now. You just change. You go to a new level. And that's what happens with a lot of you guys talking about, I don't feel anything after 3 months, after 4 months. Because it just becomes naturally within you to be evolving or to be growing. And you think it's just you being normal. It has nothing to do with the semen retention. But it is. It has to do everything with that. And that's what keeps happening. The more you retain, the more powerful you become in getting downloads from the universe, and things becoming just so blatantly obvious to you. As to where others are stuck, like, what's going on here? You're looking around like, I can't be the only one that can see that this looks fake. Like, let's say, for example, it's like imagine a kid, like, let me use another reference. Imagine a kid watching wrestling, and he believes this is real. And then you go from watching it to then realizing a 5-year-old to a 30-year-old, and then you realize it's fake. And it looks obvious to you that it's fake and it's not a real fight, but yet everybody else still believes in it. That's what raising your frequency through semen retention feels like. Understand what I'm saying? It's like many times you're not gonna know it's affecting you anymore because you reached a new level. you're already vibrating at a different level, and to you that level feels like I said, when you change age, when you go from like 22 to 23, it doesn't feel like your body's any different, but you reach the new level, and it's gonna feel like nothing's going on, so you feel like you need to release. But without you noticing, then you release, and then you become irritated at little things, but yet you can't tell that it's because you released. You become irritated, you become offended with anything people tell you, as opposed to when you're conserving your sexual energy for so long that anybody can try to diss you, offend you, and to you it feels like a little kid. Like, imagine a little kid goes F you to you. A little 3-year-old or 2-year-old goes F you. You're gonna look at that little kid, pat him on the head. It doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? That's how you're gonna look at regular people older than you or the same age as you when they try to act a certain way, F you, or try to get to your head. It's gonna feel like a little kid, and you can't explain it. You just feel like it's a normal thing to you. But it's not gonna affect you. You're gonna be like, nice try, take it easy. You're gonna laugh it off, or even, be in your power. That's how you become. You're not affected by it because everybody looks like a little kid to you, without you really realizing that this is what's going on through semen retention. You understand what I'm saying? So, and then but then you release, and then that same person your age tells you something. Now you want to fight, but you never put it together that, oh my goodness, while I was on semen retention, I was just elevated, and I felt above who I really am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like things don't bother me. I just feel godly. Like, I just feel I'm in my masculine frame. Everything just feels better and smoother. I'm not anxious. The only anxiety you're ever gonna feel, and I'm telling you from experience, this fact, the only anxiety you're ever gonna feel is when you wake up with the morning boner or morning wood, and you're like, oh my God. Or even sometimes, like, because what happens is, you might mess up by going to see like porn vids or something, and if you go see those porn vids, you're gonna want to ejaculate, or you're gonna want to masturbate, and that's when you're gonna feel anxiety. But that's when cold showers come in heavy. Like, there's a great time to incorporate cold showers into your routine. But yeah, that's the only time you're ever gonna feel anxious. It's like that when you're horny. But if you get a cold shower, come out, and you start creating, and you start working, whether it's writing, cooking, cleaning, whatever you're into, drawing, sports, whatever it is that you're into, whatever you're training for, you just focus on your goals, and you'll be all right, man. And you won't be so anxious. You'll never be anxious, really. You won't feel anxious at all, to be honest with you, aside from the time that I told you, when you're like horny in the mornings or something. But you're gonna feel great. You're not gonna know why. You're gonna think after like 4 months, or 3 months, or even 2 months, or even after the first month, a lot of people tell me they stop feeling anything, but they don't know that they already reached a new level. And see, then they deplete themselves. They'll have like intercourse, or they'll masturbate or something, and then they'll go back down, and then they'll start semen retention again, and then they get that little urge of testosterone boost after the 10 days when you first start conserving, and then they feel like, see, it's back. I knew that I was missing, but it's not that. It's just that you just went back down, and now you're back on your journey. Because when you go back down and you go through the first 10 days of semen retention, you notice a little testosterone boost, and you think that now you're even stronger, you're up here, but no, you just went back down here. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what happens when you practice semen retention. I mean, that's one of the things that happen. I'm just answering to people that say stuff like, oh, after a month you should just release because you stop feeling anything. That's not the case. You just reached a new level. You just can't tell because you haven't put it together yourself, because you haven't retained for that long. I've retained for so long, and I was able to go back and view things. Like when I noticed that I wasn't growing, or I wasn't changing, or that's it, I'm not feeling that boost of testosterone, or I'm not feeling that power, I'm feeling normal again, and I should just, relapse or something. I started like really reading and meditating, and that's when I started fasting, and I started noticing and realizing like, wow, I am way different. I am on another level. I've reached a different level. So but it feels normal. After a while, it just feels like you're aging, basically. When you age, you don't feel anything. But after you've been aging for a while, now you start feeling like the body, right? Changing, like, oh my goodness, I am getting old. That's how it feels like with semen retention, but in a positive way. You're just growing. You're not noticing anything, and then boom, it'll hit you. You're just in a situation or in a place, and you have all this knowledge and all this wisdom. And on top of having all this knowledge and wisdom, you have you're not nervous. You're fearless. You know, like anybody can step up to you, and you don't even feel like you want to fight. You just answer them normal, but you're not afraid, and that person can sense it, and people around you could just sense your energy and your aura. You're just on a different level. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, and I encourage anyone to try it. But yeah, I'm gonna make more videos on this topic. I'm just gonna, let you guys ask me questions. The more you ask me questions, you'll give me more ideas on what to explain to you guys better, so you guys could get a better idea of how important it is to conserve your sexual energy. And yeah, man, thanks for the support. I appreciate you guys. Namaste.